Well, it's decision week in Nigeria, exactly 4 days to the presidential National Assembly elections, and we are counting down as Nigerians prepare to vote. Thanks for joining us on the program. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Join the conversation live on Twitter, tag at Nifemi Oguntoye using the hashtag TVC Countdown 2023. Nigerians are still battling with the issue of naira scarcity, from long queues at ATM points to those scrambling to gain entrance into the banking hall in search for naira. Just yesterday, governors of the All Progressives Congress had an emergency meeting seeking the way forward on naira scarcity. They had the following resolutions. First, they're asking the Attorney General of the Federation, as well as the CBN governor, to respect the Supreme Court order of interim injunction, which they say is still subsisting. They're also urging Mr. President to intervene in resolving issues that are causing these great difficulties to the economy. Also, a coalition of civil society organizations expressed concern over this policy. Earlier today, they held a briefing where they stated their demands.
The recent unfortunate chaos caused by the Central Bank of Nigeria's drive in the name of currency redesign to railroad Nigeria into a cashless economy has further unleashed unimaginable hardship on the majority of citizens. It needs to be emphasized that the Naira redesign exercise has exposed the poor thinking in implementation, resulting in avoidable scarcity of the redesigned denominations of the currency.
The federal government has said that a few governors and other politicians are keeping billions of old Naira notes in well-known places. Instead of imposing collective punishment on hapless Nigerians, the federal government should direct security and anti-graft agencies to remove the sums of money allegedly kept in the homes and offices of the few politicians.
Well, let's get more perspectives from the position of the CSOs. 4 days to election. I'm joined by President of Transition Monitoring Group, Awa Rasfojani, on the countdown. Thank you for joining us on the program. Tell us precisely what this press briefing was about.
Thank you very much. This press briefing is as a result of the ongoing difficulties and challenges that Nigerian people are facing as a result of the policy that is tantamount to anti-people. And that's why civil society came together to speak the minds of suffering Nigerians who are been languishing, and some, Nigerians have even been dying as a result of the inability to have access to money to pay for medical bill. And we believe that whatever policy that government is going to use, as long as those policies are anti-people, are not, going to be useful to the people. And therefore, we believe that governments, they have already claimed that they know where some powerful people have kept money. Why can't they go after those, powerful individuals to get the money, rather than separating the millions of Nigerians, leaving them in queue for days?
I get you, Mr. Rasfojani. Talk to us about the exact intervention that the CSOs are foreseeing, particularly as regards to naira scarcity.
So the intervention that civil society is actually making is first, of course, calling on the Central Bank of Nigeria, the president, to ensure that they ease this difficulty, this troubling that Nigerians are going through as a result of this policy. Whatever the good intention about this policy, as long as it has negative consequences on the ordinary people, of Nigeria, it has to be, relooked into. Secondly, this policy, unfortunately, is not targeting at the right people, because the people that the government, claim to be targeting these policies for, some of them, they are share holders in the bank. Some of them, they own the banks. So they are not found in any queue. They are not part of these Nigerians that are suffering, looking for money to feed themselves or to pay their medical bills. So therefore, government should think about this and be able to have a policy that can really help curb corruption. And the vote buying that government is talking about, those big, politics.
Awa Rasfojani is President Transition Monitoring Group. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the program this hour. Well, the Commonwealth Observer Group has also arrived to Nigeria, led by its chairperson, former president of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki. The mandate of the group is to observe and assess Nigeria's election from activities before the election itself and on election day as well as post-election.
All focus and attention at the moment is on Nigeria's upcoming elections, both from within and outside the country. This is particularly important because Nigeria is the biggest democracy in Africa and a model to many countries. This is one of the reasons observer groups like the Commonwealth are here in Nigeria.
And our mandate is to observe and assess the pre-election period, activities on polling day, and the post-election period. And throughout, we'll consider all factors relating to the credibility of the electoral process. We'll assess whether the elections are conducted according to the standards of democratic elections to which Nigeria has committed itself, including the constitutional framework and national legislation, as well as Commonwealth and other international commitments.
Ensuring a free, fair and credible election in Nigeria is not only the responsibility of political parties and candidates, but of all the electorates. These activities will form the reports that the International Election Observer teams will produce at the end of the mission. The group promises to observe thoroughly and make a comprehensive assessment.
The report cannot be written in order to please the country where the elections, or the government of the country where the elections have taken place. Nor would it be the objective to displease the government. It's to tell the truth.
A preliminary assessment report will be available from the group on the 27th of February, while a more comprehensive report will be released much later. The role international observer groups such as the Commonwealth plays cannot be overemphasized in strengthening democratic system, particularly in Nigeria, considering its position on the continent and across the world. Moyo Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.
Moyo joins me live from Abuja. She monitored that press briefing by the Commonwealth Observer Group. Moyo, talk to us about the mode of operation of this group ahead of this election and the other things they talked about.
Okay, so before, part of the preparation for election is the INEC sending invitation letters to international organizations to come and observe. So many other organizations have been around before now, and we've also had press statements, updates from them too. But for the Commonwealth, they also received invitation from INEC, accepted, and that is why they are here in the country to monitor and ensure that Nigeria's election remain credible. And, you know, over the years, we know the role Nigeria plays, just like the report says, the role Nigeria plays on the continent is a very important one, and ensuring democracy is not truncated or does not have any hiccup in the country is very important to international organizations, and that's one of the reasons they are here to observe how the elections will go. And then their mandate, as the chairperson said, is not limited to only the election day. It also includes activities before the election, pre-election day. So what we do as individuals in this country is very important in the process of campaigning for a preferred candidate or demonstrating how much we want to support our candidates, because all these are the things that the observer mission, the observer groups are going to put in their report, and the way we all as electorate conduct ourselves on the day of election, all these come together to form the report that they will give at the end of the election, generally, even to vote counting, to every activity that is going to happen, which has started because we already have pre-election. They are going to be sending out their mission groups from the 23rd to all states across the country, so that they will give reports. It's going to make up part of their report at the end of the election. The observer groups will go around the country, not only for Commonwealth, even for other international organizations that have observer groups in the country. They will all be in all states, in all the over 170,000 polling units that we will have in the country.
All eyes on Nigeria, Moyo. We're told that this is Africa's biggest election and that the number of registered voters in Nigeria is higher than all of the registered voters in West Africa put together. We're back with you when you have more updates for us. Moyo Thomas live in Abuja.